Hello, beautiful butterflies, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, I am Nina. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what I think, and let me know in the comments if you agree, seems to be the biggest fears or barriers behind us deciding to go gray. And then I'm going to get into some Q&A with you guys that you asked from my last video, the live that I had with my mom. So let us get into it. Welcome to all of you who join, as well as those of you on the replay. Let's see how I can get this going here. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you are on a gray hair journey, if you're thinking about going gray, how long you've been dye free. Let me know if you agree in the comments with a thumbs up, yes or a no. Do you think these are the top two fears that you dealt with or are dealing with in your mind about going gray? One of them is I'll look old, and the grow out process. So I'm going to be discussing the second one, the grow out process, in this live. And on the next live, I'll be discussing more into the I will look old part. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind, this month is my 3-year anniversary since I stopped dyeing my hair. And what this dye-free going gray journey has taught me is self-acceptance. Being able to accept all of me, where I am, how I am. And this reminds me of my mom's quote that she said in the last live, which was awesome. She had mentioned, you have to look forward, not backward, with acceptance for where you are in life. And my mom is Maggie. If you didn't see that my last video, the live on Monday, please go check that out. I'll be putting it in the description after this. But in that video, my mom talked about that's what the biggest thing that she learned from her gray hair journey is. And I spoke to her today to answer some questions that some of you guys had from that interview. And she mentioned to me how, at first she's like, it's just gray hair. What's the big deal? Stop dyeing it. That's how she treated it at first. But she said when my sister had chopped her hair when she was going through the natural part of the process, she realized, wow, she looked at herself in the mirror and she really started to see some things. Like I mentioned, it can trigger some stuff underneath that you may not have realized from before. And so she was able to realize, you know what? I can't look backward anymore. I have to look forward. And that reminds me of my next point here, which is the graceful fact that there are some points in the journey that we will not like and we can't skip and will be better for going through it. I think that that's true whether you're on a gray hair journey, whether you're on a weight loss journey, motherhood journey, right? When you are pregnant, there are certain parts of that you got to go through, right? I remember the night or like the weeks leading up to giving birth to my son and me feeling like, does he really have to come out of there? Do I really have to do this? So tell me in the comments if you've had certain things in your life where you were like, you couldn't skip it. You couldn't go above it or under it. You had to go through it. And at the time, you don't necessarily feel like you'll be better for it. But afterwards, when you look back in hindsight, you're like, you know what? I learned something from this. And this reminds me also of a quote by Brené Brown. She says, you can choose courage over comfort. You cannot have both. And sometimes that can be a hard pill to swallow. I don't want to tell you when you're on your gray hair journey that you got to grit and bear it and that there aren't ways that you can't find to make it smoother or easier. That is the goal of my channel, to give you some tools to be more compassionate to yourself for the challenges, not necessarily to avoid the challenges, but to get through the challenges a lot easier. Let me know if you guys agree with this quote from Brené Brown, that you can't have both. You can't be courageous and then comfortable at the same time, because courage is not the absence of fear. It is actually feeling that fear. I'm going to look old. I don't want to go through this gray out process, and you do it anyway. And Many of you have contacted me and let me know that because of this time that we're living in right now, you're taking advantage of being at home, working from home, and you're growing out your hair. You don't have the opportunity, it's out of your control to be able to go and get your hair done the way you usually do. So you're now thinking about letting this process happen. It might have been something that was going on in your mind that you were like, and then now this time period that we're in kind of pushed you through that. So because of that, that's why I wanted to go over the second one today, because sometimes I feel like maybe some of you are like, okay, I get the old part. I'm just going to embrace this. I'm going to do this. But now you're like, oh, that grow out process. What's that going to be like? Do I have to deal with the differing colors? And I did do a video giving you guys some options on different hairstyles that you can do while you're going through the grown braid process. Maybe some of you are not natural, some of you who are watching this. So you're like, I don't do braids, or I don't do turbans or scarves. Maybe some of you, because of where you work, you're not able to do those things. So I will tell you, I cut my hair. I did a big chop because I wanted to not have as much colored hair to have to grow through. That was my choice. It doesn't have to be yours. But as you do that, you will find that I couldn't even escape it. Even though I didn't have a lot of colored hair to grow through, I still had my hair was very short. I still had to grow through that. But I will say that deciding to go gray and cutting my hair in a tapered cut, I started to appreciate a tapered style and having a shape to my hair. So that was a gift that came from this. So here's a graceful tip. Okay, you can think of something that you do love about yourself, how you look, something that can give you a feeling of empowerment and not like, okay, so am I just supposed to just take this lying down, with this whole differing colors and things like that. If you have natural hair, I think textured styles can help hide those roots maybe in the beginning. If you have a gray halo, like I said, there's some headband styles that you could think of. But I didn't do that when I went gray. I didn't wear any headbands. It was just all out there for everyone to see. My mom even mentioned that there were some who stared at her because she went through that two-tone skunk stage too. So I hope it gives you comfort to know that if you are going through that and you are dealing with some differing colors, let me know in the comments if you are, that you're not alone. There are others of us who have gone through the same thing. So maybe you're into makeup. Can you try some different colors? Maybe you're into clothing or fashion. Can you do something else that kind of makes you feel good? Can you wear some jewelry? Just trying to find things to help it to be smoother. But as I said in the previous slide, there's some points that you're not going to be able to skip when it comes to the gray hair journey. But it's also comforting to know that it won't last forever. Look at me. I'm 3 years in. It has gone by way faster than I thought it would go. And you'll be on the other side of it and you'll be happy that you did. The sooner you start, the sooner you can get through that most awkward stage of the grow out. Here's an affirmation that you can tell yourself. An affirmation is basically a true statement that can make you feel empowered. Speaking truth to yourself, basically. You can tell yourself, I can tolerate the discomfort that comes with change. Because that's another thing that this gray hair journey represents. It represents change, which is not easy. We're going through a change, all of us right now. We're sharing it together, a change in how our world is, right? And, whether we resist it or not, it's going to happen. And that's the thing about reality. There's a certain peace that you can experience when you stop resisting what is happening and you just learn to accept it. And sometimes it can feel, I definitely am not one to deny someone's feeling and, saying that you're going to like it. Like, oh, you're going to like your hair being in all different colors, or that your hair, doesn't look like this other gray hair person's hair that you love. But at the same time, the sooner you accept it, the sooner you'll have peace. And then the sooner you'll be able to look for things that you can be grateful for. Like I said, with me, it helped me to appreciate that I love a shaped style as opposed to letting my hair grow. So I would love for you guys to let me know in the comments what you thought of some of those tips, what suggestions you would give, because this is a collaborative effort. You guys are just as helpful with your own journeys. There was someone either in the comments or email, which I appreciate so much, you guys, even sending me pictures of your hair and what it looks like. I'm so excited to see that because I could live your journey through you. But there are many who have learned a lot from this, and there are things they wish they knew before, but by you sharing it now in the comments, it could be able to help someone who's in the stage that they're at now. So to recap, there are certain parts in the journey that are difficult to deal with, but it can teach you acceptance. Remember this quote that you can choose courage over comfort. You cannot have both. So there are certain things that you can't control, but focusing on what you can leave you feeling a little bit more empowered from this. Another thing that you guys have been asking me about, that I can give tips. My sister gave products and things that my mom used, but at the end of the day, there are certain things that you guys may deal with because our hair is different, that we have to accept. And I forgot my little notes, but I wanted to mention that some of the things were, let me come back to here with you guys and talk to you about that for a little bit. There's some things I want you to remember when it comes to your hair that can affect how your gray hair journey can go. And this even applies to when we went natural. It's very easy to forget that you relaxed your hair. Like, we did things to our hair before we made this decision that we wanted to do something different. And it's funny because today, one of my son's projects, the topic that they're doing right now is my favorite topic. They're talking about butterflies and the life cycle of a butterfly. Starts off as an egg, a caterpillar, and then when it's in the little pupa stage, it mentioned something this morning about the transformation process that made me think of our gray hair journey. It talked about how the caterpillar, while it's on the inside, its skin would get really hard, and then it would shed it when it no longer needed that skeleton anymore. A new layer would come up, and that process just kept going on and on until the butterfly was ready to emerge out of the cocoon. And it just made me think about how when you relax your hair, if you guys saw on Monday when I talked to my mom, when she did her big chop, her hair wasn't fully the way that it is right now. There was an adjustment period where her hair had to learn how to be. It was like, okay, no more relaxer. What you want me to do now? And it almost needed to be trained to curl properly or to, have its texture. And even for me, I found the same thing. Even though I cut my hair is different now than it was as it got longer. So you have to allow for that time period. If you are on the stage now where you're like, okay, I'm going to do this gray hair thing, I'm going to see where it's going to take me, that's great. Give yourself, a clap in the comments. But you also have to have realistic expectations of where your hair was at. Okay, say you're not on the relaxer to natural journey. Maybe you were on the color journey, obviously, and you're letting your gray hair come in. If you over processed your hair, or depending on the dyes that you used in your hair, you have to give that hair some time to get healthy again. And then sometimes, I hate to say this, but sometimes our hair doesn't fully recover from all the processing. Let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys have experienced too. Like my edges, a viewer had a question. Let me put this back here. I want you guys to let me know who has transitioned from henna, not box dye, but from henna. Please let me know in the comments, because there was someone who had asked how to transition from henna to gray hair. Now, I used box dye most of the time. I believe I used Clairol Texture and Tones permanent color. I also used their semi-permanent color, but there was a time before I went gray where I was like, okay, I'm done with these chemicals because I've had different reactions to them. and I wanted to do something more natural. So I did try henna. And the red henna did not color well. Let me know if that happened to you guys, if you ever tried henna before. And something I learned about henna is that, especially even if you're not gray, if you use henna in your hair and then you decide that you want to go get your hair colored, it can be difficult to get the color that you desire because of using the henna. I think I've heard that before. And there's a reason why our hairstylists go to school and they learn different things about chemistry and the hair and all of that. So henna can be a bit resistant to color being right back on top of it. But if you're transitioning from henna to gray hair right now, I believe it's a similar process. You know, you may also still have the differing colors that come in. You know, you may use the very dark henna, which I forgot the name of it, but there's like red henna and then there's a darker henna. Let me know in the comments if you guys remember. You know how my memory works. So I think you're going to go through that same process of maybe it going from black to red to orange, you know, and all those different colors that are coming in. And then, guys, you also have to remember when it comes to, this is another thing that a lot of people talk about, thinning gray hair. People ask, has your texture changed from the time that you went gray, from the time your hair was colored to the time you went gray? So this is something I asked my mom. Somebody had asked that question. They said, did she find that her hair was thinner now because she was gray? And she actually has found the opposite. Her hair was a lot thicker. And I mean, I can't say that she said that she can't say that it's completely as thick as it was when she was younger, but it is thicker than it was when it was colored and relaxed. And if you guys saw my interview with Adelina, my very first Silver Sister interview, she also mentioned the same thing. She showed pictures of her colored processed ends, and then her gray hair coming in was a lot stronger, shinier. So you have to give it some time. But I also want to put that disclaimer in there that it's not necessarily a guarantee that if you stop dyeing your hair, that the hair that comes in is going to be thicker and stronger. You just kind of have to wait it out and see. And similar to growing out relaxed hair, you have to, it's not just, okay, all the colored ends or the relaxed ends are done. There is, like I said, an adjustment period. And this reminds me of the stage in the butterfly's life cycle. And it showed it on the YouTube video. It showed the butterfly coming out. It said that its wings were all soggy and mushy. And it gained strength, first of all, from finding its way out of the cocoon. And then it needs time for the blood to start circulating through the wings so that they could be able to fly. So again, you have to give your hair some time, your scalp to recover. And I have some good news to let you know that I'm going to be having some other guests coming on to talk about different things that can give you some practical tips on thinning gray hair, helping your gray hair grow healthier when it comes to Ayurvedic herbs. So if you guys are excited to tune into those interviews, please let me know in the comments. So let me go and say hello to my beautiful butterflies. Hi, Zena, Marianne, Paula, Torito, please remind me of your name. Thank you, Sandra. Hello, I see some new ones. Thank you so much for coming on. Hi, Patricia. You have big multiple tones on your locks. What different kind of tones? Is it Mima? Caps, Alice, thank you. Great to see you here. Hi, Charlene. Happy Thursday. No worries, Sheila. You're right on time. Okay, Mima, you used box color. Put this down a little bit. I don't know if you guys hear that little pop sound every time the comment comes in. Whoop, whoop. Okay, Sheila, you used henna for 40 years and you had to big chop to go gray. Okay, thank you for that. So, did you big chop because of the henna? It didn't grow out, Sheila? And Mima, like I said, you used box color, whatever was on sale. Charlene, you said the henna never took to your hair. Isn't that interesting? It took to my hair, but it didn't give me the red that I was looking for. Like it looked like a faded red. I wanted a deeper red. So I think that was another thing that made me say, you know what, I'm done with this because I'm doing all this work and it's not even lasting or coming out the way I want. Indigo. Thank you, Paula. Indigo is the darker henna that some people use. Marianne tried henna in the late 80s and she used coffee and teas to intensify it, but henna can be drying and it does stay in your hair for a while. So I apologize, I forgot the name of the lovely butterfly who asked me that question about henna. There was actually two of them. I think one was Nora, but if you're watching this, because I told you to come and watch this, you're not alone when it comes to the henna. This is another thing too. I wanted to do a little bit more research on the Green Beauty channel. She's like great with science in our hair, and she talks about the effects of color on our hair. So if we were doing this for years, guys, then we have to expect too that our hair, I envy those who, like my sister, who never went gray. I mean, who never colored their hair and just let their gray come in. They probably have a different type of gray hair than us, who, you know, dealt with a lot of chemicals in our hair for years and years. Sandra, you went natural 10 years ago. You started to embrace your gray 5 years ago. Best decisions you ever made. Great. Torito, you used, I think it's Bigen or Biggin. I remember that. It's like a yellow and black box, I think. You would use that for coloring your hair almost weekly. So that's when you decided to stop. Charlene, your gray hair is so wiry and out of control. The density is the same. Okay. And Charlene, did you say that you are natural by chance? Hi, Wendy. Okay, Alice, you use Biggin too every week. Your hair was also shedding a lot. Did you see that your hair stopped shedding, Alice, after you stopped? And Charlene, your hair always stayed black. Torito says the henna never took to your hair either. So for those of you who did use henna, how are you finding the grow out process to be? Please let me know for this beautiful butterfly who had that question. And by the way, if anybody is going to ask, you guys know that this is one of my favorite lip colors. This is the lip color I have on right now is from the Lip Bar. This is Prima Donna, the color. So I brought that down just in case somebody would ask. And I tried a new lash, a new magnetic lash. I'm going to see if I could do a video for you guys, but it's by a company called Glamnetic. And you guys, I showed you on my channel, now I forgot, Eyelure lashes, which I also love. But these, what I like about the package is this is a magnetic strip, so it helps remagnetize the lashes, but they're pretty cute. So just in case anybody was wondering, those are those two. Charlene, your boyfriend told you, who's in medical school right now, that coloring the hair affects the thyroid and to avoid it at all costs. Wow. I believe it. Because I actually have issues with my thyroid, which I did find out also can be affected when you have a child. Hello, Yumikia. How are you? So this is the point now. If you guys have any questions, I'm done with the first part of the video, and it's now open to Q&A for you guys. Any questions that you have from my mom from the video that you saw earlier this week, or any questions that you have for me about my gray hair journey, please feel free to put those in the comments. Hello, Reigning Woman. Thank you so much. Alice, after stopping the coloring, your hair stopped shedding. So that's another interesting point, that you would be surprised that your hair will do better after you stop dyeing it. It will be healthier. Because I'm thinking too, when you are coloring gray hair, I'm sure that that's different than coloring melanated hair. So if we, for years, maybe we didn't know when we fully went gray, but we've been coloring that gray hair, which is already more fragile, then we have to give that hair some time to gain some strength. There are also other things that can affect our gray hair, guys. Medications, if you're taking any. My mother also mentioned something else, your hormones. My mom talked about that. She found that, when she was going through the big M, that also, menopause, that also affected her hair. Let me know if any of you guys are also finding that. Hi, Laquita. How are you? Oh, your best friend. Okay. Okay. Hi, Miss Kareen. Okay, where would you find the PDF for the recommended products? I am going to put that in the chat box right now. I will also put it in the description box. Thank you guys so much for letting me know what would be helpful for you. And if you want also the PDF of the quotes and the slides that I did today, let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the comments and I can put that together for you also. Okay, I think that's it. So that's where you can get it, Miss Kareen. My sister was really good with those products. And someone else asked me as a request, because you guys can send me an email. I'm going to put my email here and send me video requests to this email, nina@naturallygraceful.com. Any questions that you have or videos, many of you have already done that, and I appreciate it very much. It helps me to know what content to make for you guys, for it to be informative and practical. Hi, Donna. How are you? You're from Detroit, 58 years old. The gray on the sides is coarse and wiry. What products are good for smoothing the hair cuticles? Good question. And if you check out, Donna, the link right above you, naturalgraceful.com/gray hair products. There are some natural hair products that are pretty good for dry gray hair, natural hair. There was someone who had emailed me. They were in their 70s and they were telling me, do you deep condition, Donna? Do you deep condition your hair on a regular basis? Our gray hair is going to be of a different texture. I find that I can tell the difference in my texture when I try and do styles that stretch my gray hair. When my gray hair stays in its coily state, it is not wiry or coarse. Maybe the white part a little bit, what has the least amount of melanin. That's another thing, Donna. How is your gray hair coming in? Salt and pepper, gray, white. I believe those are like 3 of the most popular ways that our gray can come in. That's another thing you have to keep in mind. Like my dad, who grayed before my mom, his hair came in salt and pepper, a patch, then salt and pepper, and then white mostly on the top, darker on the bottom, and now it's all white. And you have to keep that in mind, being willing to constantly reevaluate where your hair is at so that you can give it what it needs. So you might look at my hair. I'm still in my 30s. I'm 39, about to be in the 40s. And my hair is going to respond differently than maybe your hair will. And maybe some of you are gray, but you're still relaxed, or you're gray and like I said, some of the other things that can affect your gray hair, medications, hormones, genetics. There's so much to it that we have to make sure that we have realistic expectations. Not saying that you shouldn't have some product recommendations, but it's similar to what they try and sell us on TV. Take this product and your hair will be like this. And it doesn't always work that way. It is a lot of trial and error. Okay, Raining Woman says she's definitely seen a change in her aging hair, but never thought menopause could be a factor. Yeah. Excuse me. Our hormones control a lot of things. I'm not at that point yet that I know of. I don't know if I'm in the peri stage of it, but moisture. I notice my mom started to deal with seborrheic dermatitis later in life. I don't remember that ever being an issue for her. And she had to find out maybe certain things in her diet or certain products that she was using. You might have to change products. Your body and your scalp and your hair will let you know what's working and what's not, right? Charlene, thank you so much for this form and the Oh, thank you so much. It's so nice to have you here. And I really, please, if you are enjoying this video, give it a like and subscribe. And most importantly, share it with someone else who you know, who can benefit from this. There are many who I would like to have a little community here on Thursdays to be able to kind of support each other, because it's not just me. You guys are awesome at supporting one another. Is there anybody here? I think Laquita, you're just starting. You just did a big chop. Yes. I'm so excited for you. Her hair looks amazing. She put it on her Instagram page. First of all, can we give Laquita, by the way, some clap emojis? Because I believe we don't even know each other that long, but she hit the ground running. She was like, okay, I'm going to make a page. I'm nervous, but I'm going to make a page. And she put a couple of posts up. She showed her big chop on there and her beautiful growing silver crown. So yes, Laquita, it is normal for it to be a bit frizzy. And I'm going to see if I still have a picture from my mom's, so that I could show you guys. Isn't she so cute? I just love her. Okay, let's look back. Look, this was one of the pictures I was telling you guys about before. This was right after my mom had her big chop. And so you see like towards the back how it is a bit frizzy. My sister said that she had to use perm rods in the front to make her hair curl. So Laquita, if you're dealing with frizziness, you're definitely not alone with that. Hi, Christine. Okay, Donna, you said yes once a week. I forgot what I asked you, girl. Okay, you deep condition. That's good. And I'm guessing you wash your hair once a week if you deep condition it, and your hair is salt and pepper. Okay, so the question that you had asked me, yeah, it's wiry. Something I noticed, and my sister-in-law, who I'm going to be interviewing soon, also mentions that about her gray hair. When it's salt and pepper, I feel like you deal more with the wiry and like it wanting to do its own thing than any other kind of gray hair pattern. My youngest sister, who you saw on Monday, she has a couple of gray strands and they're like all over the place. So I think when it's salt and pepper, you will be dealing with some of that. I'm going to see if I could do a bit of research on what can help smooth the cuticles. To me, and my sister actually agreed with this, what helps my mom with the frizziness and her hair being out of control is gel. Are you a gel person, Donna, at all? Christine, you also have problems with your hair being frizzy. Do you use gel at all, Christine? Hi, Portia. Your grays have a mind of their own. They're all over the place. So you guys watching this on the replay, please check out these comments in the chat so that you can see that you're not alone. Because sometimes we think, oh my goodness, am I the only one with teenage gray hairs just doing their own thing? Okay, what do I suggest for edges? You're natural and you wear a lot of wigs. Okay. Well, edges, to be honest with you, my favorite thing to use on my edges is Uncle Funky's Daughter Curl Magic. It has such a great formula in it. It has nettle, horsetail, marshmallow root, agave nectar. It can be a little bit sticky, I will say that, but it's light enough to just be on my edges, because I noticed I couldn't do Eco Styler gel on my edges. It was too heavy, and my edges, especially when they were coming in. When I first got my hair cut and my edges were coming in, I had to deal with some balding, like what it looked like on the side. It took a while, and I mean, they're not I have fine hair in general, so they're not going to be as thick as, say, my sister's hair. But so the two products, Christine or Portia, that I like for my edges are Uncle Funky's Daughter Curl Magic. I think it's a curl stimulator. And then Kinky Curly Curling Custard is also another. Like, the gel is soft enough for my hair, my edges not to feel hard, but it still gives me enough hold. And it's something that I could apply maybe like every couple of days to refresh. I don't really refresh all of my hair. Like right now, I think this is going on 2 weeks, 2 week hair. And I don't really refresh besides what I told you guys with the Flairosol bottle. But I do refresh my edges because those get fuzzy. So you're not alone with the frizzy and fuzziness. Donna, you've been using Ayurvedic products. It helps with detangling and dryness. Awesome. Because the two guests that I'm going to have on are going to be talking about Ayurveda and how it's very good for thinning hair. Good afternoon to you too, Portia. No worries. Sheila, thank you. Paula, thank you for giving Laquita some. Patricia, Wendy, Charlene, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, Yumikia, truth in all I just said. Your gray is all over like mine. You went through surgical menopause at 29. Now you're 58, have high blood pressure, so you purposely keep your hair short to manage it. That's awesome. My mom also has high blood pressure, and yeah, if you're going through a chemical menopause, then that is also going to affect how your gray hair behaves. Yumika, did you find that your hair changed after that menopause happened? Thank you guys for giving Laquita love. Sandra, you use water alone for moisture, but still waiting for the back to come in gray. Sandra, if you would like to add a little spice to your water, I like to use essential oils in there. And I told myself that I would remember. There was a beautiful subscriber who reminded me of all the things that I suggest. Please make sure you do patch tests. You make sure you're not allergic to any of the things I suggest. Because she mentioned something about women who are pregnant, being careful of using peppermint oil and things like that in your scalp. But I love to put peppermint, vanilla, rosemary in my water and use distilled water so that it doesn't have minerals in it to spray onto my hair. Raining Woman says to Portia, the wigs could be a very big factor in thinning edges. Reconsider. Yeah, it's difficult because I used to love to wear wigs, believe it or not. And ironically, my husband doesn't think I look old with gray hair, but he thought I looked old with wigs, which I was just like, that's what he associated wigs with. So it can affect your edges. And I think that's how some people also are dealing with the grow out. They can be doing wigs, braids, but there's some of us, because of our edges and traction, who may not be able to do styles like that. So even when I do my turbans or head wrap styles, I will put a satin or a silky type of material underneath to protect my edges. Okay, yeah, I forgot you guys are looking at the picture. So this picture here, like I said, is just to let you guys know that, you're not alone when it comes to, a big chop and your hair being frizzy. But look at the, what do you call that? The gradual way that my mom's hair started to behave. Like, so cute. And I think this was last year when my sister first cut her hair. And so you see with my mom's hair, it's kind of like a mixture. Like, that's literally gray. It's not white. And this is something she does to her hair sometimes too, to be able to help. So you see by there, her hair was starting to respond better to different styles. Okay. Sheila says to Laquita, moisture daily will help. Water, milks, lotions, and leave-in, plus moisturizing conditioner weekly. Now, Sheila, do you find frizziness with your hair at all? I'm glad that you're giving options that are not gel, because for me, gel works amazing, but not everybody is into gel. So thank you for that. And yes. Oh, bye, Tarita. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, Yumika, you gel every day. What gel do you use? And Sheila made a very good point, which I am needing to get better at. I'm good with the moisture, but there is a balance that we need to have to give our gray hair some strength, and a protein treatment. What do you use, Sheila? Do you use Affigy? Affigy and me don't mix, but I have tried the Green Beauty protein treatment. I think it's called the Real protein treatment, and I put very little into a deep conditioner. I'm going to write that down to put that in the description for you guys afterwards. Charlene says to Portia, make sure you get a band to cover your edges under the wig. They're made like a velvet-like material. Great. So that's an option to help her edges. Donna, you don't use gel. Curl mousse works better. So curl mousse gives you the desired look that you're looking for, because mousse is good. It's kind of like an in-between between the creams and gel, because it does give a little bit of a hold, but it doesn't last as long, I would say, at least for me. Okay, Mima, you said repeat the name. Which name? Is it a name of a product? Let me know what you would like me to repeat. Sorry, I'm just like getting through the comments now. Marianne, which I thank you guys for all the engagement and the comments. Okay, Yumikia is asking how I refresh my hair in the morning. Marianne, you have salt and pepper hair. Your silver is in the front. It is a bit wiry and you have a pixie. You like a bit of men's pomade. That is true as far as edges are concerned. I did do a video showing you guys me trying a temporary hair color. And one of them was from Amazon. It was called Mafajang. And it did smell like something a man would use, like a little perfumey smell, but it made my hair obey. And I believe it's because it was waxy and heavier. So that's a good idea if you guys want to try some kind of pomade, something a little heavier to help those edges and that gray hair that wants to do different. Hello from London. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Sheila, Laquita, your hair will change weekly or monthly the first year, at least for you after you big chopped and for April 2019. Thank you for sharing that, Sheila. That's another realistic expectation. And it's so hard because you think to yourself, okay, I'm finally done with the colored ends. I still have more adjusting to do. Yeah. And even myself for 3 years being gray. And how do you guys look at it? Someone else asked me this question. They're like, when do you say the date of, stopping the dye? Is it the day you last dyed your hair? Is it when it's time for a touch-up? Or I would say the last time I dyed my hair was in May, and so by June, when it would be time for a touch-up, I count from the last time I dyed my hair. How do you guys do it? Yumikia said, you love the gray, still learning how to keep it soft. You love a fierce cut, which is why you keep it short. Yes. I mean, I feel like that also gave me some confidence to deal with short hair and the gray hair process. Like having a nice shape up gave my face some shape, because I can tend to be full in my face. So Sandra said, I'm 61 and not pregnant, so we'll definitely try the essential oils. Okay, let me know how you like them. It's like a treat every time I refresh my hair to smell peppermint and all the yummy, yummy essential oils. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mima. Your husband is still anti-gray. How long have you been gray? Well, you're going through the grown braid process, I think you said, with the locks, right? So is it he doesn't like the way it is now, or even other people with gray hair, he's not a fan of. Wendy, even those who are wearing wigs, make sure you take pictures of your gray progression. Thank you for that tip, Wendy. Danetta, how are you? Curl sprays work well to moisturize. Mish Beauty has a great protein mask. Thank you for that. So what curl sprays would you suggest, Danetta? Sheila, you don't use gels. Use Giovanni Smooth or Silk Extreme Nutrifix Hair Reconstructor. Anybody watching this on the replay, like I said, please check out the chat box. You're going to find great product recommendations. Danetta, mousse doesn't have a great hold, but good for styling. This is true. Now, have you guys tried like perm rods sets or like curly sets with your gray hair? That is something I'm going to attempt. And I do have a mousse from, I think it's Lotta Body, because that was something I remember using when my hair was relaxed, when I wanted to do those kind of styles. So if you guys have any other recommendations, please let me know. Yumika, gels you use are Aunt Jackie's Curl Boss. Yes, I love that. Wet Line Extreme because you need the hold. Okay, great. Danetta, the gel you use is Carrot Care Protein Gel. Awesome. You're welcome, Portia. Sheila, your hair was dry and wiry after the big chop, but after a moisture and protein conditioner routine, it started to come around. Awesome, Sheila. Okay, Danetta goes by the last time she dyed her hair. The same with me. So the lovely butterfly who emailed me about that question, just go by the last time you used henna, because I think they were asking me about henna. Charlene, you have a funny question. Does anyone lay down their gray hair edges with edge control? Does it look crazy or fabulous? Let me tell you, Charlene, the only thing that has managed to keep my edges down is bentonite clay. Bentonite clay, and I can't walk around with bentonite clay in my hair. I look like I came from Africa. You ever seen the African women who have like the red mud in their hair? And yeah, that's the only thing that could keep my edges down. My sister, on the other hand, and this is where we talked about acceptance today, right? I cannot lay my edges down. And you know what? I've learned to just let them, because of the short cut that I have, even though it's growing in quite a bit, I just put that curl magic on it and just let it do its little thing. Paula, you also go by the last time you dye your hair. Alice, use Eco Gel with hemp oil. That's a nice combination. Yumika, you get many compliments. Yeah. Marianne, the pomade you use is Cremo. Do you mean Cream of Nature? They have a matte and shiny scent. It's light and you purchase it at Harmon's for $10. That's not bad. Thank you for sharing, Marianne. Wendy, you say the last dye job was February 2015, no dye from March 2015. Okay, so you go by the month that you had no dye. Thank you for sharing that, Diane. Thank you for sharing that, Wendy. You agree with Sandra. Donna, you use the curl mousse for the slip when you wear twist, and you love the definition your hair has when you have a twist out. Thanks for that, Donna. I've tried twist outs before. I actually just looked at a picture of a twist out I did in 2014, and I had some good definition. And I will say, guys, because we talked about this a little bit earlier about the difference in texture of your hair from when it was colored to not being colored, or gray hair. I do find it doesn't have as much density as when my hair was more melanated. Because when I do my twist, they look like cute little larvae. They're not fat, chubby caterpillars. Like some people I see who do twist. Oh my goodness. I drool at how beautiful they look. Like they could wear them outside on their own, but my twists are not like that. Hi, Nora Ray. How are you? I think you're one of the ones that asked me about the henna, right? Please check the comments. Manny left some great comments for you about henna. You made it. Thank you. Okay, so your last henna was February 2nd, 2020. Please give Nora Some clapping emojis, guys. She just started her journey to gray from henna. Donna, you don't like how the perm rods snag your hair. You've even tried with end papers. Okay. I've been watching a couple of videos, Donna, about perm rods. And what about flexi rods? Has anybody used flexi rods? Those are not good to sleep in. That's why I'm so lazy, guys. I know I am going to go out of my comfort zone and do some different styles, but this is why Wash and Go is like the easiest for me. Mima says edge control makes her gray look crazy. They just pop back up after an hour. I know. Our gray hairs will not be put down. They're like, I am here. Hear me roar. Charlene, you're welcome. You know, if anybody is very ingenuitive and makes their own products at home, figure out how to do some kind of edge control with clay in it. Maybe that's an option. Because when I have seen edge control gels, I remember jam. Anybody use jam to control the edges? And when my hair was relaxed, that's when I could get some edge control. But when it was natural, Nope. Sandra, you don't worry about your edges. You like a little flyaway. Nora, you can't keep your edges down either. Hi, Dre. How are you? Charlene, same here. Haven't laid down my edges. Okay, Marianne, it's called Cremo Barber Grade. Thank you for that. I'm going to look that up. I haven't heard of that before. Thank you guys for giving Nora some claps. When Nora, you say when you do twist, you see all the parts. The same for me. Girl, my sister can do twist and have like 10 to 15. And I tell her, if you guys saw my sister's hair, do I have a picture of her up here? No. Check out the previous video and you'll see how full her hair is. When that girl puts one puff or one ponytail, that's like all of my hair. So it's too funny. Okay, bye, Donna. Thank you so much for coming on today. I appreciate it. Yes, Nora. So definitely after this, scroll up to see the comments about henna. Did you have a specific question you wanted to ask now? Because we're going to be ramping down a little bit because I actually have to go do something with my son's teacher. Thank you guys for supporting each other. Wendy said nonconformist grays. Yes, jam. I love the smell of it, and it had such an interesting texture. But clay, I would think, and I wish they had a clear clay, because if you put bentonite clay on your hair, it's gonna show, especially with gray hair. Charlene, jam was your jam when you had a relaxer, right? I forgot the color of was there green in it? I know there was black in it too. Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. And if you are liking this and watching it on the replay, please like and subscribe. And let me put back up here my email so that if you guys would like to email me any questions or you have any video requests, please feel free to email me at nina@naturallygraceful.com. And even if you want to show me a picture, you're just starting your gray hair journey, you just chopped, or I'd love to see it. I think it's so nice for you to share the journey with me, or share your journey with me. Hi, Katina. The only edge control that helps your gray is softer signature edge control. Thank you for sharing that. I haven't heard of that. So I got time for one more question. If you guys like to, you used only black jam. Is that, there was also, I think it was Pro Styler protein gel. That's what I know they would use a lot if I did, what do you call it? What were those called? Like perm rod sets or like Shirley Temples or stuff like that. I remember using that black gel. But of course, using that black gel on gray hair would not look great. Aw, it's great to have you here, Wendy. Like I said, you guys are awesome. You help make the live so enjoyable. You help me to know what content to make to be helpful to you. And remember what I always say, this channel is more than just about our gray hair. It really is about how that gray hair journey brings us back to self-love. And let me go back to that picture of my mom, because I feel like it perfectly represents what I was going for. You have to look forward, not backward, with acceptance for where you are in life. And I want you guys to get to the point that my mom did in this picture. I don't know if I could zoom in on it. That part where you're just looking at yourself in the mirror, just like this, and you're loving what you're seeing. And if you're at the point where you got a whole bunch of different colors, no, you may not look at that part and say that you love it. But look at you, look at yourself in your own eyes and say the affirmation that I told you guys. I can tolerate the discomfort that comes with change, and I could be better for it. Okay, Alice, you did ask a question. Thank you, Sheila. You said, has anyone tried Taraji P. Henson's products? You have it and you love it. That's good to know. I have not tried it. I have seen many videos on it, but I have not tried it. Nora, you asked, will your henna colored grays eventually fade? Right now your hair is 3 colors. So anybody who's still on here who did henna and it transitioned to gray, could you give Nora some feedback? I know, Sheila, you said you had to cut it off, but I'm curious to know if anyone now or watching on the replay transitioned to gray hair from henna, and how did it go for you? I'm thinking, Nora, that it would be similar to color, that it will fade. Sometimes at the point of contact where your roots are and where the henna starts, you might definitely have the varying different colors, but toward the end that might not fade. You're so welcome, Marianne. Thank you so much for being here. Sheila says to you, Nora, that henna does lighten a little, but you had the big chop to go gray. So Nora, is that something that you're thinking about? I think in your email you said you don't want a big chop. So I hope that knowing you're not alone gives you some comfort. But as I said in this live, there are some things about this gray hair journey that we can't skip. And before you know it, you'll be able to get through that grown braid process and have your beautiful silver crown. Okay, my beautiful butterflies. So again, any questions or video requests, please email me. At this email, nina@naturalgraceful.com. Also, I'll be putting in the description box the link for the products that were mentioned in the last video for you guys. You can look forward to some interviews that I'll be having with some people who know quite a bit about Ayurvedic herbs to help those of you who are dealing with thinning gray hair, maybe some balding that's happening. Sheila says, I didn't enjoy the grown braid look, but do what's best for you. Thank you. That's also what this is about. These are all suggestions and recommendations. You have to remember that every one of us are unique. So we put things out there. You try it with a grain of salt and with a realistic expectation that it may or may not work for you. Okay, guys, I look forward to seeing you on the next live next week. I'm going to be trying to do more than one live a week. So definitely get your questions into me so that I could ask them or join. So Monday at 1:30, I will also be going live, as well as Thursday. And this Saturday, I'm going to be putting a quick little collage of my updated 3-year gray hair journey from the beginning to this month. Nora, you said you don't want a big chop. Okay. So yeah, it's it's some acceptance that's going to be the gift that this journey is going to give you. But we will talk more, guys. I thank you so much for coming on here and supporting one another. I thank you for supporting me. I appreciate your continued support, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Okay? Bye. You too.